Hello and welcome back to Talking Giants, brought to you by SeatGeek. And oh boy, this feels good to say. The New York Football Giants just kicked the crap out of the Philadelphia Eagles. The 8 straight losses in the NFC East are over. Take your Amazon Prime documentary and shove it up your ass. Jackson Dart shines. Cam Scatterbo shines. The New York Football Giants play complementary football on both sides. They play a complete game. And what I love the most, man, congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to you, Shaun. Congratulations to me. Giants fans after the game screaming, "Let's go Giants." Excitement. Cam Scatterbo, Jackson Dart, and he was asked after the game, "What do you expect for the rest of the season?" He said, "That right there. What we did tonight," Cam Scatterbo said after the game. That fired me up. That game fired me up. Shaun Morash, we did it, man.
Unbelievable, Justin. Unbelievable. And I'm going to just pre-apologize to anybody watching or listening. I don't know where this next 45 minutes to an hour is going to go with us. But what we just saw tonight is something that we deserve as Giants fans.
Yes.
As something that has been long missing as Giants fans. And quite frankly, I don't care, any haters out here and it says, this is not hyperbole. I have a feeling that Jackson Dart is going to be really good and that tonight is a night we're going to look back on and probably remember for a very long time about where we were, how we watched it, who we were with, because it was that significant. And this isn't beating the Bears by 3 scores. This isn't Drew Lock versus the Indianapolis Colts last year. This isn't even 2 weeks ago versus the Chargers, as fun as that was. We have been destroyed by these people in Philadelphia for so long. I hate them. And I don't care who hears it. I hate them. And I'm so sick and tired of the Rocky song. I'm so sick and tired of going to that stadium with the stupid people with their green stupid jerseys and laughing at us. And I've been so tired of the last year and a half of, we got Saquon, we got this. I've been so tired of the last 48 hours of this documentary and Pat Leonard's stupid fucking questions. I've been so fucking tired of it. And tonight, Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo went into that stadium with the Eagles thinking so little of us that they pulled back Jalen Carter because of our fucking turf. And we shoved a win right up all of their fucking asses. And not just a win. We blew the Eagles the fuck out on national TV for the world to see and to stamp our fucking legacy with this quarterback to start off. Because tonight, for the first time in too many goddamn years versus the Philadelphia Eagles, we had the better quarterback. We had the better running back, and we had the better fucking football team, Justin. How fucking good does that feel, man?
I am floored right now. You said you would get emotional.
I hate the Eagles so much. The team I hate the most in my life. I have no voice, man. I've been at Yankee Stadium watching this shit baseball team all fucking week. And all I wanted tonight was some fucking peace and quiet, not to have my nose fucking rubbed in it by the Eagles. And tonight we fucking did it, man. We fucking did it. And I don't give a shit how pathetic this looks for a 2-4 team. This fucking means so much, man. This fucking means so much.
Oh my God.
This is cloud fucking 9, man. This
I
is what
love
Talking
you, man.
Giants is all about, right?
I love you, man. Yeah, before we get going, and as Shaun collects his tears, man, like this stream, like this episode, subscribe to Talking Giants. Hey, the Talking Giants Shaun Morash era is 2-1. The Jackson Dart era is 2-1. God damn it, should be 3-0. That's what I was thinking about too.
Who gives a shit, man? The losses don't matter, man. This is what it's all about.
This is what it's about,
man. That fucking
man.
team is going down the turnpike fucking miserable tonight. We fucking did it.
Subscribe to this show. Give it 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, and everything like that. Like. Let's do it, man. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. So dude, I wanted to get that out of the way.
Bro, we've lost our way in New York. Can I just say that for a second? It is not our fault. We care a lot. And we've had 2 shitty football teams for a long time.
Yeah.
And we've had baseball teams that spend a lot of money and fucking knock on the door and break our hearts. And there's a basketball team in the Garden that keeps knocking on the door and can't beat the fucking Indiana Pacers. And I don't know if we're going to go get hit by a bus or drop dead tomorrow or any of us are ever going to see a goddamn championship again. But Tonight was what sports is all about. It's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be euphoric. It's supposed to be that feeling of, holy shit, we're able to do this. And like the Giants have brought an element of, at least to me, if I'm nuts, I don't know, maybe you guys out there on the live stream, like you guys feel it's like they brought that element back to me tonight, that there is fucking hope for the future with this franchise. I can't get enough. Thank you, Jackson Dart. Thank you.
Let's talk about how it happened, man. Let's talk about how it happened.
Third down stats. What are we going to do here?
Dude, I think I just want to go through some of Jackson Dart's best plays. And it was crazy that, like, as the game's winded down and as the game is over, you know, I clip up basically everything that happens in a Giants game on my computer. And I don't even, like, this is probably bad, but I just want to get everything out so fast. I don't even name the files. So they show up as just like 2024 and they show up just as a bunch of numbers. But I was pretty quick able to go through, yeah, that play was really good. That play was really good. That play was really good. Even this play that was an incompletion and a little Jordan Humphrey drop in the end zone, that was really good. A Theo Johnson drop on a third down, that was really good. The scramble, that was really good. And a juking a guy in the middle of the field. And man, he was money on third down.
He was.
So many good plays of Jackson Dart tonight, but so many of them came on third down. So let's talk about it. Little Jordan Humphrey early in the game. Big play. Yeah. While under pressure, by the way. That was a 3rd and 12 facing cover 3.
Incredible throw. What a novel concept too, that a wide receiver jumps up, high points up, and fights for a ball too. Make a fucking play for the kid, and that's exactly what little Jordan Humphrey did.
Sign him to the 53-man roster.
I'm assuming, by the way, we're taping this very late at night. I'm assuming the kids are in bed. The F-bombs might fly tonight. I'm sorry, folks. This is unhinged me tonight.
3rd and 8. Same drive, opening drive. Dart rushing touchdown. Another third and long, another big Jackson Dart play. Dude, juking that guy in the open field. Awesome. The Wan'Dale touchdown. Now, not a 3rd and long, but a 2nd and 9 versus man coverage. Taking advantage of that. Great job by Wan'Dale Robinson breaking that tackle. There was a 3rd and 3 where he tried to spear an Eagles defender.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
He launched himself. Dude is a lunatic. And for better or for worse, he's our lunatic. But that was a 3rd and 3, and that was a big first down pickup where maybe you don't think that he's going to pick it up, and then he dives, spears an Eagles defender, picked up the first down. There was a 3rd and medium pickup to Wan'Dale Robinson where he looks off a receiver to his left, works back to the middle of the field. Wan'Dale Robinson's running a click slant as Theo runs a corner route, causes some traffic for the Eagles defender. So nice play by Mike Kafka. Nice execution by Jackson Dart to come back to the middle of the field. Winds Wan'Dale Robinson open. And finally, a 3rd and 8 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Jackson Dart throws an out route to Theo Johnson as the safety, I think, is playing really off and really giving a lot of cushion. Theo Johnson runs that out route. 3rd and 8, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. First down.
That was by the way, that one right there, I want to put a pin in that one. That was the most stunning third down of them all to me. Because in context, remember, that is a 2nd and 3 that the Giants, and I disagreed with this play call, even though the broadcast didn't, where they take the shot down the sideline to little Jordan Humphrey. And I thought to myself, the way the drive was going, and you were up 10 points at that point, geez, I don't know if I should be taking a deep shot here. Just keep the drive going. And then they take the full start right after that, which forced the 3rd and 8. And I thought, Justin, at that very moment, at that 3rd and 8, as I sat there, I said, oh, geez, they're gonna punt here. The Eagles are going to go down the field, and like you could just see how a loss could suddenly unfold. And I thought finding Theo Johnson on that specific 3rd down after what had just gotten convoluted with the missed deep shot and then the full start, I thought really was one of what would come to be several daggers from that point forward that the Eagles would suffer. That is how valuable I thought that 3rd down was to Theo Johnson.
And I want to make sure, was this a throw under pressure? Oh, yeah, he got nailed.
Yes, that was it. Yes.
2 guys on the right side. I think they actually run a really nice, they bring an interior linebacker and they kind of like stunt. They don't really stunt him, but just finds a way and the right guard doesn't pick him up. And then even Jermaine Illuminor gets his ass kicked too. So Dart's basically hit by 2 guys, brought down to the ground, but delivers a ball right on the outside of Theo Johnson. And Theo's even able to run upfield and get yards after the catch after that. Dude, just money under pressure, money on third down. And that has been a theme, especially through the Chargers game. You know, the Saints game featured some nice throws, but the turnovers and lack of wide receivers. But even there was all 3 weeks have featured good plays on third down, Shaun.
Yes.
And how good does it feel through the first 3 weeks of this Jackson Dart era, they're going to have to add layers, and they are adding layers to their
They are
offense.
layers.
Like they're,
Well, dude,
they were more explosive tonight. But let me just say
Yeah.
this. How awesome does it feel where for years, Shaun, we would slave through the first quarter. We would slave through the first half. Giants have 7 points. Giants have 3 points. And that would be it. And you're just waiting and waiting and waiting on the offense. This is 3 games in a row, Shaun, where they've scored an opening touchdown on their first drive. On their first drive. And it was Art Stapleton who put out a stat, I think first time since like 2009 or 2010 that they haven't done that. Dude, it's so awesome, man.
And you know what else too, Justin? Like just the confidence that grows with him. How about the very first drive of this game when he throws a quick pass under pressure to Theo Johnson that's almost picked. Theo Johnson's not looking. And Jackson Dart in his third start has no problem looking the eyes of Theo Johnson and showing that like, hey, look at me, look. I know this sounds so stupid and like to other fan bases might be like, well, what are you talking about? Like we haven't had quarterback just like presence, which sets up all of those third downs and the confidence that can allow Kafka and company to grow the playbook. His command of those players in that offensive huddle, and even on the sidelines when, was it Hyatt earlier in the game? He went back to the sideline and you could tell he was giving whoever the business about holding on to the football. And just that kind of stuff, I think, allows them to keep growing the playbook too. That he's piecing together the ability under pressure to make plays on third down with the ability just to lead by just the simple, subtle things of this is my team, this is my huddle, this is what's going on. I know we'll get to the whole, blue tent thing and Brian Daboll basically telling you, please don't have Russell Wilson ever touch a football for this team again. But that also plays into it, right? Like how valuable he is to this entire offensive game plan and what they've planned. I mean, this is just... It's incredible. I mean, first rookie to win a start versus the Eagles or one of 3 since 2016, Dak Prescott and Jaden Daniels being the others. Last week we went through that stat, right? It was the first time in how many games that the Giants scored touchdowns in each of their first 2 drives. They did it in back-to-back weeks now.
Yeah.
That one?
It's the first time since, and I have the stat here, first time since 2009, thanks to Art tweeting it out. The Giants have scored a touchdown on their opening possession in 3 straight games. 2009. Remember that offensive line? Remember that kick-ass offensive line, that kick-ass running game that we had? That really good quarterback that we had too?
That's the other part of this game. And I know we're going to do a ton on Dart and a ton on Scadaboo. They fucking annihilated the Eagles in the trenches in this game. Like, the Giants' offensive line played bully ball with the Philadelphia Eagles today. Yeah. And I know Jalen Carter wasn't there. I don't give a shit. That was incredible. I think that's the other part of what made tonight so magical. I know we're bouncing around all over the place. Dude, like, when was the last time they absolutely just dominated? At least, I know there was those couple series in the second quarter where you started to see the pass rush and the defensive line fall apart versus the Eagles O-line, and then they re-woke up thanks to Brian Burns. But just the Giants' offensive line just bullying the Eagles on every turn was incredible.
Yeah. Shaun, it was complimentary football. It was a complete game. I still do want to talk about Dart.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to get you off track.
Elements. No, but I want to talk to you about Shopify first, because this episode is brought to you by Shopify. Hey, this shirt is from John Boy Media's site, shop.johnboymedia.com. And Shopify is the best place to start and grow a business, which is why we partnered with them here at John Boy Media. John Boy Media has relaunched our merch store on Shopify with our new /line site, and it was a dream. We brought the ideas and Shopify brought the execution. As you're shopping our new launch, check out what Shopify can do for you. Life really is a touchdown when you have Shopify on your side. Shopify Sidekick, Shopify Magic, and the sweet AI tools are a total game changer. It's revolutionizing the way you can build and manage a business. You'll have your own AI assistant giving you guiding you on everything: directions, reports, editing images, content ideas. Shopify's got your next move covered. If you're ready to take that business idea from a draft to a reality, it's time to head over to shopify.com/giants. Shopify is the perfect partner for any business roster, so make sure that they're on yours today. All right, so we talked about Jackson Dart and his ability on third down. Talked about a lot of his best plays today. He was more explosive today. I think the Giants had, I want to say 3 or 4 plays of 20-plus yards. 2 of them come definitely in the first quarter. Wanda Robinson touchdown, Lil Jordan Humphrey directly setting up touchdowns. That's the power of explosive play, folks. And Shaun, man, especially that Wandale touchdown. Jackson Dart throwing under pressure again. But I cannot tell you how pumped I am watching a quarterback in the year 2025 for our New York Football Giants navigate the pocket the way he does, extend plays in the way that he does. And I'll tell you what, you let me know if you agree, and you probably do. I just don't feel nervous when he starts to move, starts to look around. Maybe even there's a second where he's not moving in the pocket, but he's looking to improvise. Like, how many times you watch quarterbacks around the NFL, especially young quarterbacks, and you're like, oh my God, he's gonna fumble, he's gonna take a bad sack, he's gonna make a bad move, something bad's gonna happen, he's gonna make a bad decision with the ball. For whatever reason, I'm not sitting on my couch and panicking when Jackson Dart is doing that. And that's bizarre.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because we didn't text about this at all during the game. And to me, it's not nervousness now. I've reached this because even during the Saint game, I know that when all those turnovers happened, and I go back to the first game of the Chargers with the wave back of Slayton on the comeback. He has so many of these moments under duress where he's climbing the pocket where now it's not nervousness. I think I'm still in awe of what I'm watching, because I watch a lot of NFL football. I know you do too. And you get to see like the great quarterbacks do that. And then you put on a Giant game for the last, 8 years, and it's just, oh, what the hell is going on here? And we just kind of accept it. We kind of try to cherry pick positives, and Lord knows we did that for a long time with Daniel Jones. This is becoming commonplace now with Jackson Dart, and I think that's the feeling. It's not nervousness. It's more awe. He's doing this again. Oh wow, he's doing this. Wow, I'm oddly calm about this.
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with him doing it.
I think that's the feeling. It's comfortable, but it's weird also, because it's weird to be comfortable with a quarterback under chaos making a play.
Yeah.
We've been so mentally beaten that that's not supposed to happen for the Giants.
I mean, he took 2 sacks tonight. And I mean, I honestly, like, I can't fully remember. Like, there wasn't like a sack where they lost like 10 yards, 8 yards.
One
was
he went to take off and run, and he got tackled like a half yard short of the line of scrimmage. It was like a fake sack.
And that's been a common occurrence when Jackson Dart does get sacked. If you're tackled a half yard behind the line, all right, it's basically just a half yard run.
Yeah, there was none of those like, oh, it's 2nd and 6, and he drops back and he's tackled 7 yards back for a sack, and you couldn't, like, there was none of that tonight. And also, how about this? How about his and I give Kafka credit for this, and like, this is stuff that quarterbacks should be doing. How about just taking advantage the moment, Mitchell goes out and Adoree Jackson comes in the game, and you're seeing some of those mismatches, little things that you're supposed to do as an NFL team when there's like that next man up on a defense where, go after this guy. The Giants were doing that tonight from the jump. And then when Blankenship got hurt, like that, I think they went to another play on Theo on the safety right after that. They were exploiting mismatches.
Yeah.
The Giants don't exploit mismatches. This coaching staff doesn't exploit mismatches. Yeah. What the hell world were we living in tonight?
Now, if we're talking Eagles, like, it's dude, Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson are not good. But you want to know what?
Ringo can't tackle for a guy that's that big.
If this,
I'm taking off my socks if you see my camera rocking.
I'm not apologizing, because without Malik Neighbors, love the socks, by the way. Your feet must have been smoking.
I've been wearing those since 10 o'clock when I got on the ride to American Dream this morning.
I hate shoes. I hate socks. Second I get home, everything comes off. But you got Lil Jordan Humphrey, Jalen Hyatt as your 2 lead outside wide receivers tonight. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh wow, the Giants. Only reason why the Giants found success is because they're going up against Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson.
Exactly.
You're an NFL team. If you're facing those 2 guys, the expectation, I don't care, especially if you're a Howie Roseman GM, Super Bowl caliber, defending Super Bowl champions, the expectation for you should be is to defend those guys, right? I also want to give a shout out to this. Obviously, Jalen Carter not in the football game, which, hey, what a really decision that was if it was to the MetLife turf, as Ian Rappaport indicated. But what I want to give a shout out to this offensive line, Shaun, because since Andrew Thomas has come back, I think I can name on one hand the disaster plays. There haven't been disaster plays.
No.
Jermaine Illuminor towards the second half last week, okay. Some pressures tonight where Dart gets nailed, but Dart has this keen ability to keep his eyes downfield and still looking to make throws even when he's running or even from within the pocket, which is awesome. Checkbox quarterback that keeps his eyes downfield and his eyes don't collapse. But this offensive line, Andrew Thomas being back, there's all these charts going out of win rate and pressures allowed, and Andrew Thomas is at the top right of these charts, best tackle in football. AP All Pro is back. I can count on one hand the amount of disaster plays that we've seen since he's come back, and that is
No doubt.
awesome.
And that's why it's crazy when people are like, well, you can't count on Andrew Thomas to be healthy. Maybe you should trade him. No. When he's out there, he's as good as it gets.
It's worth the quote unquote risk.
I'm going to say something I don't think should ever be uttered with the Giants, but has at least felt this way tonight, and has felt this way now since Andrew Thomas come back, at least in the pass protection part. It's not just that they're getting the job done. Their pass protection has been an advantage for them.
They're kicking ass, Shaun.
Yes.
They're kicking ass.
Like it's been an advantage. Like when you step on the field, go, oh yeah, that's a strength for the New York Giants. What? The pass protection's a strength? What is that about?
And honestly, I think the only reason why I think we were able to see any sort of semblance of explosive plays tonight, a little Jordan Humphrey running 40 yards something down the field against cover 3. That takes time to develop. Wan'Dale Robinson running a crosser over the middle of the field against man coverage. That takes time. That Theo
How about the
Johnson
shot he took too?
Yeah, that Theo Johnson out route on 3rd and 8, that Dart makes with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. I think that kind of stuff takes time to develop.
And Dart's helping the O-line as much as the O-line's helping him, right? Like you mentioned all the, escaping and the climbing pocket stuff. He's not sitting back there padding, waiting to get sacked like Russell Wilson earlier in the year. This is completely different. So while the pass protection is doing well, even when it does break down, the way it fans out and breaks down, that's allowing Dart to kind of snake up and make those moves, which was just incredible. On top of that, I do have to say, I just mentioned the little Jordan Humphrey play early in the game. I like that they were able to complete that early in the game because it had the Eagles in the back of their mind knowing, okay, we can't just play with everything in front of us.
You got to respect them.
But on top of that, I'm going to give another guy credit to helping Jackson Dart tonight, and it's bare minimum, but it helped. Jalen Hyatt catching a couple passes that weren't just streaming down the sideline routes where it's one of a prayer. Like, okay, I mean, he added a second route. He knows how to run a little quick out, and he held onto the football. And I was ready to kill him on the play in the end zone, but he was clearly pass interfered with as well. I thought that was actually a big help because we complained last week with Slayton and obviously Hyatt and Bo Collins. As Jackson Dart's trying to make these plays behind the O-line, receivers need to make plays for him as well. And it wasn't just little Jordan Humphrey tonight. It wasn't just Wan'Dale Robinson tonight. At a bare minimum on a couple plays, Jalen Hyatt wasn't a complete zero tonight. And I think I will at least give him a round of applause for that and helping out Jackson Dart in a couple of those plays.
Yeah, that was they put that ball on the 1 yard line, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was huge. Drew a pass interference. That might be the best play Jalen Hyatt's ever had as a Giant. He drew a pass interference and got down to the 1 yard line that basically ended to a dagger here.
Yeah. I also want to give a shout. We don't typically read out YouTube chats during the game, but B Bowl Training said I was at this game. It was my first NFL game and probably my best sports moment. Awesome, man.
That's awesome.
I'm really happy for you, man.
That was awesome. I didn't get the sense in the parking lot before the game, and obviously I went home to watch this game, that it wasn't like an overwhelming Giants super pumped up. It kind of felt like Giant fans were there to go to a game, and they kind of resounded the fact we're going to lose. And Eagle fans were basically walking around the place like it was their homecoming tonight.
No, and I will say,
I think of those Giant fans going tonight, and imagine that feeling leaving, Justin. We've been in that stadium a million times.
And I will say, like, Shaun, man, I did not see this coming in a million years, what they did tonight.
I didn't either. Now you want to tell me they win on some random walk-off field goal because they got a few sacks? Like, that's different. The way this happened, I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. That's why I think I'm so welled up with emotion. They crushed them.
They kicked the shit out of them.
They broke their will. Did you see Devontae Smith on the silent end of the game? They were dazed and confused. Saquon with the mouthpiece staring up at the scoreboard. What a familiar feeling seeing looking up going, I'm getting my ass kicked at MetLife. He's used to that. That was unbelievable.
I was angry throughout this entire week of this team. Shaun, you've been listening to me for years. I really don't get angry with this team. I get upset. I get disappointed. It started today to turn into anger because they should be better than what they are and what they have, especially the Saints game and way you finished the down. I mean, really every single game this year besides the Chargers game where you won. The team should be performing better. We've talked time and time again, especially with this defense, that there are good players on this team that we don't just think that are good, but they actually are playing good football. And that's the frustrating thing, especially about the defensive side. Angry. angry at the state of this team and like getting ready to like say, should I even root for losses? Because that's better because I want everybody gone. And there's still some of those emotions there. But for tonight, obviously not the case because you just kick the shit out of a division rival, which is this the first time that they kick the shit out of a division rival during this era?
Well, okay. So here's the difference. They kicked the shit out of the Eagles a couple of years ago, but it meant
but that was irrelevant. That was irrelevant.
Irrelevant. In fact, we probably wanted to lose the game. It was the last week of the year. The Eagles were playing for seeding, but the Eagles were playing for something. But it was, as Giant fans, we didn't know how to feel because we really wanted losses. But as far as other than that, I mean, they never even really killed Washington when they were beaten. I mean, God knows we haven't beaten the Cowboys in 50 years. So, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, when the hell have we seen this? In a game that felt relevant to whatever this season is, the Giants certainly have not done this to a division rival in far too long.
There's one more dart thing I want to mention before we get to the run game, and then obviously we'll move to the defensive side of the ball. But, Shaun, today's episode is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, and I want to show you this. Well, Justin, this isn't a wallet. Well, guess what? It's a key holder, and I love this thing because before I had this handy little key holder, I had my keys were cluttered. I have an automatic starter. I have, look at this. I have a Giants Pride.
How about that?
Keychain too. But this key holder has really helped out in my overall maintenance. So I don't have a million pounds of keys clinking all in my pockets. It's much more better. It's much more manageable. And thank you to Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this episode because Ridge Wallets are a unique, slim, modern design that holds up to 12 cards plus cash and keys, and they're made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber, and there's over 50 colors and styles to choose from. You saw how I kind of had like this darker Giants blue. Everything is blue around here. And Ridge isn't just about wallets. They create premium, everyday carry essentials like key cases, like I showed you, suitcases, and rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off at Ridge by using code GIANTS at checkout. Just head to ridge.com and use code GIANTS, and you're all set. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them, and please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Bang. One more Jackson Dart note I want to mention, Shaun. And another play where he dealt with pressure very well. I think this occurred on second down. It was like a 6-yard, 7-yard gain. But I think this shit matters because Dart's done it a couple times. After not having any cadence in college, remember everybody made such a big deal about John Gruden's like, show me your snap gap. And Dart goes, and Gruden's like, that's it? What do you mean? You don't have a snap count? That was a worse Gruden impression. But that was a big clip that was rolling around. Have you not heard through the first at least 2 games? I can really pinpoint it. And in the preseason, he was really trying it out. Have you not heard how he's been trying that hard count? He's been really trying to get his cadence down.
Yeah, I even heard a "Huddy Buddy" tonight too out of him.
Yeah, maybe that's a call. I don't know what that is.
No, but it was just we haven't heard like random cool name calls in a long time from the quarterback.
Well, I also love just the Amazon Prime. I think Prime's broadcast. I think they got better mics. I think they got better everything. Did you watch the game on the Prime Vision broadcast?
No, I need to watch regular broadcasts. I'm that way. But it'd be nice actually having crowd mics because every time you watch a game on Prime, you feel like the crowd stinks.
Well, I want to hear what's on the field. I mean, with all respect to the crowd, I want to hear what's on the field because that gives me a little bit more of a clue as to what's going on.
Fair enough. I'll have some thoughts on that later, though. Go on. Okay, you're watching games in a different way, and that's okay.
But I mean, that's also one of the reasons why I'm able to do little Jordan Humphrey was cover 3, and Theo Johnson was against man coverage. Wan'Dale Robinson was against man coverage because, dude, the sky cam is just awesome. Anyway, Jackson Dart's cadence. There was a throw tonight to Theo Johnson that goes for just like 6 or 7 yards. But he does the hard count, and you're able to see slot corner starts to creep in, and two of the interior linebackers start to kind of creep in. So it's an automatic tell. This is what's going on. They're showing cover 0. They're almost going to bring cover 0. There's a lot of guys coming. They have more numbers than our numbers. I know I got to get rid of this ball quick. And man, it's a chess game. That's what football is. Football's a numbers game. He knew that he had to get rid of the ball quick, and bam, as soon as Theo gets out of his break, that ball's out of his hands. Positive play for the Giants. So it's just a 6-7 yard gain. Yeah. But for a rookie quarterback who we were so worried about system and Lane Kiffin and it being fake. And I also think it's credit to Mike Kafka and Brian Daboll, who have therefore turned around a lot of things that Dart has done at Ole Miss, and they're laying it out there for him, and it's working. And how many times have we had coaching staffs in the past that, nope, you're going to do it my way. I don't care what your strengths are. My way works. I'm a smart guy. You're going to adapt to what I'm doing. And this coaching staff, kind of even going back to the thought that we had about them in 2022, is forming an offense around their quarterback and his strengths.
It's just a beautiful thing to see. It really is. Just the idea of this is what the quarterback could do. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it almost feels like we just appreciate the most simple things, right? The most simple, basic things, playing to a quarterback's strength and having the quarterback deliver amongst those strengths. And as I say that, Justin, and you take a sip of your nice drink, I'm looking down at the bottom of our live stream, and I keep looking at the date, and I keep looking at the score, and I can't fucking believe it. I mean, holy shit, they beat the Eagles 34-17 in October.
You want to know what I also can't believe?
What?
They were 3 for 3 inside the red zone and 3 for 3 and goal to go. Remember how we talked about how the Eagles were like, they were like the best red zone defense in the league, and we were the worst red zone offense in the league?
Dude, with ease in the red zone. With ease. Ease. And Cam Scadaboo, do you want to get to the run game?
Let's get to the run game now.
Run game, and acknowledge that Al Michaels probably bet Cam Scadaboo for 100 more yards the way he was praying for it at the end.
He was excited about Scadaboo.
Yes,
Scadaboo was also, John Boy does a great job of pointing this out. He's like, Scadaboo is the most fun broadcaster name to say. Scadaboo, Scadaboo, like just whatever way you want to say it. It's just it's so fun. So Al Michaels probably had a lot of fun with that. But he probably put he probably bet the house on something.
I felt like it. He was dying for him to get to 100 yards.
Oh, yeah, he was really mentioning it. And he didn't wind up getting it.
It doesn't matter. He didn't get it. That run game was incredible tonight. Now, I don't think Tyrone Tracy's all the way healthy, but we should focus on Cam Scadaboo and at least the job this offensive line did up front.
Now, the Giants had 39 attempts for 172 yards. That's 4.4 yards per carry, total of 4 rushing touchdowns. 3 of them come from Cam. 1 of them come from Jackson Dart. Okay. Now, Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy also had a combined 7 rushing attempts for 16 yards. So you want to know what the Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo rushing combined total was?
Well, if I'm doing the math correctly, it's like 153 yards.
Well, really good. 32 attempts, 156 yards, and 4.875 yards per carry.
That's pretty good math for 12:30 a.m. for a guy that hasn't slept all week.
Good math. It's pretty good math.
And a guy took 6 years to graduate college, no doubt.
And you also had a very long week.
Yes.
You had a very long week.
Happy
birthday, by the way. Is it your daughter's birthday today?
It is Peyton Morash's birthday. She turns 4 years old. She was born, by the way, this is the anniversary. My daughter was born on the day that Kadarius Toney threw a punch versus the Cowboys. I watched that game.
Well, that was an awesome game within itself.
She was born at halftime of Sunday Night Football in a weather delay between the Bills and Chiefs. You can look up the date, October 10th, 2021. Happy birthday, Peyton. You're upstairs sleeping, baby.
Happy birthday, Peyton. But the run game is, do you have anybody named Eli in your family?
I do. I have a dog named Eli.
Right.
A dog named Ranger. So I have Eli and Peyton. And then my oldest daughter is Taylor for Lawrence Taylor.
Nice. Love that.
For anybody that, why am I talking Giants? I have a sick affiliation with New York Giants. I'm named Shaun for Shaun Landetta, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Nikki Snacks' parents are named Anthony and Carmela, born before The Sopranos, by the way. Doesn't that
That's amazing.
Sense? That makes sense, right? It just
amazing.
Makes sense.
Do they have a lot of Uncle Ben's rice in their cabinet?
He also has a cousin named Vinny. The run game, man. So I just mentioned Cam Scadaboo and Jackson Dart. They're rushing a total combined 4.875 yards per carry, which is pretty nice, which is pretty sick. Cam Scadaboo gets 5.2 yards per carry. Man, if you're averaging anywhere between, anywhere around 5 yards per carry in a game, especially when you're getting closer to 20 attempts per game, you're really doing something right. And I'm not the biggest schematic expert, but one of the things that I really saw that was working and I loved, Theo or Daniel Bellinger at the snap moving as lead blockers, moving at the snap. They're running a lot of counter. So then you have Greg Van Roten or even John Runyon pulling. I think one of the touchdowns you had, one of those tight ends going in motion at the snap. Greg Van Roten pulling, bang, he bangs into an Eagle linebacker. Between all that weight being thrown around and they're all moving fast with momentum and they're all slapping pads, You also have Cam Scatterbo lowering his shoulder, and I think that is a lot of pop. That is a lot of physicality coming at you at one time of the Giants running game. And I like that. Again, I've talked about how this Giants offensive line, they're not the heaviest unit in the league. I don't think this is ever going to be a run offense that's just going to flat out kick ass. Kind of like the Eagles were last year, where yards before contact is, 4 yards average before contact. I don't think this Giants offense is ever going to be that. But Cam Scatterbo, since week 3, has totaled 251 yards after contact. And I think already that's top 10 in the NFL. Pretty sure even for the entire season, let alone he's only been really booming since week 3. So awesome.
He totally made his presence felt. And I think that this was very reminiscent, and hear me out, it's obviously not as significant, but the classic when Brandon Jacobs ran over Charles Woodson of the Packers in that 2007 NFC Championship game. That set the tone for that entire game. And if I'm being real, and all you have to do is look at the way Jalen Carter was inactive tonight, and that Ian Rappaport report on kind of why, even though he had the heel injury, we don't trust the turf, and that's going to become a whole story. I truthfully think that, Justin, the Philadelphia Eagles came into this game with the Giants' lack of, weapons on the passing game. They got Cam Scatterbo there. Their offensive line doesn't bully anybody. I don't think the Eagles took the Giants' physicality from the run game serious at all, and that included Cam Scatterbo. And I think that when that defense on a short week got on the field, already short guys and feeling the injuries, and that's a weak secondary anyway when you get to the second level, that Cam Scatterbo stuff, when he's coming at you and he's lowering your shoulder, I think that set a tone early in this game that the Eagles on a short week specifically, and with the back of their mind thinking they were playing the same old Giants, honestly were not ready for. And obviously I don't have tangible evidence of that, but you just got the sense from that point forward with the run game that the Eagles, almost weren't up to the challenge, and felt for the first time in a Nick Sirianni versus Brian Daboll game, rather unprepared for what the Giants were going to do in the run game. And I just do not think that they were up for the moment. I don't think they were fully grasping and expecting just how different and dynamic from a physical standpoint, specifically Cam Scatterbo, brings that element of a run game.
Yeah. 80% of his rushing yards out of his 98, 79 of 98, 80% of his rushing yards came after contact.
I mean, he's dragging people. They were not prepared to tackle Cam Scatterbo tonight.
You know how we talk about on the Giants defense, if he gets so frustrated that 2-yard gains turn into 5-yard gains and runs at the line turn into 3 or 4. You're like, oh, well, we really let them get out of that one. Yeah. And I feel like that's what, like, name me the disaster since Cam Scatterbo was kind of taken over. Name me the disaster play that the Giants have had as a rushing offense where, oh my God, how many times with even Saquon Barkley at running back, and this, probably isn't even his fault, but the offensive line would just be so bad. How many times with even Barkley at running back would you just be like, man, you sometimes just got to avoid the run because these negative plays on 1st and 10 where you're tackled 2 yards in the backfield and then it's 2nd and 12 and it feels like the drive is over. That doesn't
happen. And you're asking why the hell you're running the football, right?
Right.
Abandon the run. It's
when you can't even
it's a totally different offense when you're able to lower the boom like that. Yeah. Totally different offense. And I really do. I know this is a story for another day. I don't think Tyrone Tracy's fully healthy yet. I admire that he went out there. You could kind of tell that first tackle he took. Man, I still have faith in Tyrone Tracy's a different element that we can get a bit of that thunder and lightning thing going when he is fully healthy.
There was one of his carries, Shaun, where I was disappointed.
He bounced to the outside. He talked about that one when he could have cut in.
Like, I feel like there were multiple ways that he could have just.
And he went the worst way possible.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Even if it's just like he likes to do this one cut stuff and then just. But he likes to do the one cut stuff, but then kind of go north and south. It's not like fully straight.
Sure.
But he likes to set defenders up, do the one cut, and then go. He kind of cut, but it was east and west, and that's just not really. I don't think any Giants running back on this roster has the speed. Like even Tyrone Tracy is not fast enough to go east and west really at all. Like this is a north and south offense. Like this is not. I think the most explosive threat they have as a runner is Jackson Dart, and that's mostly when he drops back to pass and then he scrambles, which is inevitably sometimes an explosive play waiting to happen anyway. So
right.
And I also think Dart's presence and his legs very much helped like this run game function as well, similar to the way that you saw in 2022.
Did you have a problem with him still going head on after going into the tent?
Yeah, we gotta, and this is even like Kafka, and Kafka needs to have a little bit of awareness.
I couldn't believe they went right back after it with him running the ball like that. That was
Designed runs.
Jeez, what are we doing?
I mean, even if it's an RPO, maybe I'm even in his ear being like, don't tuck it and run. Either, give it to the running back or throw it. Don't tuck it and run.
Before we get, I know we're doing the run game, and I know we're going to get to the defense. Can I bring up one more Jackson Dart thing? My brain is just firing off things. Jackson Dart's high five of the ref when Scadaboo originally wasn't ruled in, and he thought he was high fiving him. Did you see this?
No, you want to know? You want to know what? I can relate to this as a residential young person, even though Dart's like 5 years younger than me. I all the time, when somebody is like this at the stretching at the office, I am always so tempted to just go and high five. Like you're
Are
not,
you serious?
Yes, that is 100% a thing. It wasn't a high five like thank you for giving him the touchdown. It was a high five that I'm standing here, you're not acknowledging me. You have your hand up. I'm just going to give you a high five.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's just like
because remember, he didn't have the ref. That ref did not have both hands up. It was one hand up, like he was holding for like the third down, or whatever the hell it was.
Gave him a high five. I would 100% do the same thing.
I audibly laughed so hard on the couch. Like, I could not believe he did that. And then immediately the overrule comes to touchdown. It made it that much funnier. So I know I just didn't want to forget that as we close the book of Jackson Dart. That was hysterical that he did that.
My guy Tajel in the YouTube chat, does he get fined for that because he touched the ref?
You know, it's interesting. I'm going to be very curious about the fines. I do wonder if they'll give him a fine for that. And you got to think Daboll's going to get fined for basically reaming out the team doctor to hurry Dart the hell out of the tent.
After the game.
Did he? Okay. All right. I was reading some of the quotes. I didn't listen yet.
You want to know what Daboll said? I'm pretty sure because I heard this on the Prime broadcast because they played it.
Okay.
Daboll said the reason why I was trying to get on the doctor's case so bad is because they were thinking about going for it on fourth down.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, he was going to call a timeout and then get him back in the game. That's what Daboll said.
That's a good answer too.
That was a third and long though.
How could Russell Wilson have had that poor a throw too in that spot?
I don't know.
Like what? You talk about tanking your trade value if you had any left.
I don't like how close these close calls are coming in wins with Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Is this the cost of winning that we need to have a heart attack every game?
A Dart attack. You ought to know by now.
Good job. Before we keep going and talking about the defense, yeah, that's it. I want to talk to you about DraftKings because this recap is sponsored by the DraftKings. This win is sponsored by DraftKings. NFL fans, what's your favorite touchdown? Because for me, it's the next one because with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. Here's the best part. Sign up with code JAMFootball. Bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you all the time. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code JAMFootball. That's code JAMFootball to turn $5 into $200. If your bonus bet wins in partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Shaun, let's talk about the defense. And I think the biggest thing here is, you're getting a little worried. It always feels like as Giants fans this, right? There's like yin and yang with this football team.
Mm-hmm.
Either the offense plays a good game and the defense shits its pants, or the offense plays a bad game and the defense shows up, right?
Right.
They played complimentary football. Thank you to Research Rick for tweeting this out. The Giants played 22 snaps in the second half, and there was a period of time where the Giants offense felt like they were fluttering a little bit before they kicked ass in the fourth quarter. They ran the ball, they took time off the clock, and they scored another touchdown. They scored that final touchdown, right? But the Giants defense got off the field. They forced 2 turnovers in the second half. Great job by Cordell Flott. I mean, that's not a not so subtle Shaun Moresh turning point of the game, right?
No, I think the not so subtle turning point of the game is that Theo Johnson catch I mentioned earlier, where the Giants got pushed back on a 3rd and 8 after the failed deep shot.
Yeah, the 3rd and 8, 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
That to me, and honestly, the other not so subtle turning point of the game is Brian Daboll getting bailed out by calling a timeout as the Eagles are about to take a delay of game penalty when their wide receivers aren't set and almost cost the Giants giving up 3 points. But the fact that that didn't come back to bite them, also a not so subtle turning point of the game.
I'll give you a not so subtle turning point of the game. I think maybe like this is still at a point of the game where you look at Jalen Hurts' stat, and even like Jalen Hurts' stat line, I think is still decent from this game. Like completion percentage high, had a good amount of yards and everything like that. But there was a second down play where the Giants they kind of show a little bit of man, but then they drop into zone, and then Jalen Hurts they show zone right away at the snap, and then Jalen Hurts doesn't know what he's looking at, and then he scrambles and then he slides. And then comes Brian Burns' his second sack of the game, where he's running a stunt and a twist around Abdul Carter. He lines up as like this off-ball linebacker, lining up in that A/B gap, but not as an edge rusher. He's twisting around Abdul Carter, gets that sack.
He's pulling on the back of the undershirt first, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, is he going to slip away?"
And I look at that, Shaun, as like, this wasn't a perfect Shane Bowen night. I was ready to come on here if the Giants lose this game. And part of me was like looking forward to being like, I think the Giants should fire Shane Bowen tomorrow. I still have opinions about Shane Bowen's defense. Yeah. I still have opinions about this coaching staff, Brian Daboll, and the future of the Giants in general, but they just won a football game, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this. But for tonight, like I didn't think I didn't think that Shane Bowen for the majority of this game, which thanks to Doug Analytics for tweeting this out, 21 plays to 21 attempts. Giants use zone coverage on Jalen Hurts' 33 attempts. 66% of Jalen Hurts' attempts, Giants were playing in zone coverage. And I thought at times that did a good job confusing Jalen Hurts. He's been confused by zone coverage all year. And the Giants took advantage of that, and their defense got stops when they needed to. It was not perfect. And, of course, the turnovers that they forced were awesome, too.
Yeah, look, you want to see a team make game-ending plays. And the defense gave you not one but two in the fourth quarter. And ultimately, I still look at point total. All throughout, the Giants had, some defensive lapses tonight. You gave up 17 points at home to the Philadelphia Eagles. If I tell you that before the game, you're like, oh, man, did we lose the game 17-13? 17 should be enough in most football games to win. And again, as the Eagles are driving, not just a turnover from Cordell Flott. The Eagles are in the red zone, ready to punch one in and make life a living nightmare for the Giants to get through the final 7 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
And that was just that was a play that the Giants never make. And Cordell Flott grabbed a dagger. Now, I would have liked to see him finish it and run it all the way in. That would have been ultra sick, but the Giants still finished the job right after that. It's just a great read, holding onto the football, not just like a drop play, whatever, like that would normally happen. It was just great. And look, throughout, there were good plays by the secondary sprinkled. I mean, Nubin sliding and punching the ball away from Saquon, trying to make a sliding touchdown catch. So that was another nice little fun play there, too. Players stepped up and made plays. And what a difference, Justin. What a difference. Something we've talked about, something Dan Duggan reported before the game. What a difference it is when you stop messing around to put Deonte Banks on the field to take terrible penalties. You want to talk about what a concept. How about that for a not so subtle turning point of the game? Deonte Banks basically not seeing the field. Adebo wasn't perfect tonight, but let Adebo and Flott just cook as your two outside corners. You're a better team for it.
Yeah.
And no Drew Phillips penalties tonight either.
Oh, yeah. And also that Adebo DPI I thought was a little bullshit, too.
I did, too. And I'm surprised the broadcast didn't pick up on it. It was very, very ticky-tack.
Yeah, he gets beat at the release, which you don't want, but I thought he turned his head enough. And
also remember, in the NFL, it's not about you having to stare at the ball the whole time. You just have to play through the ball, and he's the one he reads the receiver's arms, and he sticks his arm up and deflects the ball.
Yeah, for me, he looked up. Like he wasn't staring at the numbers of the receiver and putting his head in the jersey.
Right.
So,
he's reading the eyes.
For the first time in, oh my God, Shaun, I couldn't believe that Cordell Flott in a Giants outside corner made somebody pay for running an out route while giving cushion.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What? Again, stunning. Stunning. I floored. Couldn't believe it.
But a great play by him. He reaches 20 miles an hour on that interception return. It was a big return, too. Didn't fall down, didn't step out of bounds.
Was that your biggest, and again, I've never fully watched a Giant game with you. Was that your biggest, jump out of the chair, holy shit moment of the night?
No. I was calm through this game.
Okay. Because that one for me, and honestly, when they got the fumble, and you could see clearly that Belton had punched it out after that, as the icing on the cake play, I nearly went into cardiac arrest.
Dude,
I was floored.
the
It felt
most
like they were piling in and like rubbing the Eagles' face in it at that point.
the most get out of my seat moments. I didn't really get up out of my seat because I'm kind of locked. I'm locked into the computer. I'm locked. I've been having this really good workflow of my computer is ahead, so I'm able to clip stuff faster, and my TV is behind. So then I'm able to look at a play when it happens on my computer, and then I look over to my TV to see like a replay. And then sometimes they'll show a replay on top of the replay. So I'm watching plays fucking 3 times. I love it. Here's the I wanted to mention this, especially we're at the 50-minute mark, so I don't feel bad at getting a little too negative. I feel like they made the decisions that kind of partially defined the game tonight, which was activating Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Yes.
And finally taking Deonte Banks off the field. I feel like they did that because they were ultimately forced to do it. Would Lil Jordan Humphrey even be activated if Darius Slayton was healthy and playing? Or forget even healthy. If Darius Slayton still was hurt with his hamstring, but was active tonight?
Good point.
I don't know. Pat Leonard indicated that it was Darius Slayton's health designation that made the Giants do this to begin with, not because they felt like they maybe fully needed to. Did Pat
Leonard ask Daboll about anybody's gloves today after the game?
Okay, like Cam Scadaboo's gloves last week.
Did he ask him about that? Oh no, we didn't get one of those in. No, but okay. But on the negative there with Lil Jordan Humphrey, you're right. I still don't have confidence in this regime that they would have done the right thing. But I will say
I'm not giving them credit for it. Is my point?
No, I'm not giving credit for it.
Banks, I'm not giving them credit for that.
No, because you're finally learning your lesson. But I will say, I think we pretty much know this. Even if Slayton is healthy, Lil Jordan Humphrey needs a spot on this roster, and not just waiting for the elevations for somebody else to pluck him off and sign him off the practice squad.
Yeah, there's still one. They signed a linebacker, like a backup linebacker.
They signed Neville Hewitt and Jude McAtamney today to the active 53.
Oh, they did. So they signed 2 guys to the active?
They did. That's what they did pregame. And they elevated Zaire. Is it Zaire? I'm forgetting. What it was some linebacker. I barely remember.
I thought they still had one open roster spot.
No, I was shocked they actually used one on McAtamney because he had the whole exemption. They signed him to the 53 and signed Neville Hewitt to the 53 today.
So they must not feel like Graham Gano's going to come back anytime soon.
Maybe not, but I'm dead serious though. I know that
I kind of don't even want Graham Gano to come back.
Jude McAtamney still missed an extra point, but you can't go into a game not doing that. I'm saying this to say, I swear to you, I would not, beginning tomorrow, whenever we have to worry about the roster stuff, I would not just flirt with the idea of another team can come and now grab Lil Jordan Humphrey off your practice squad. He should be on the 53-man roster.
Yeah.
Regardless of Darius Slayton's designation.
Yeah, what else? Man, I'll tell you what.
How about special teams outside of missing the
yes, I will say their special teams now. The Eagles did drop a couple, like Tank Bigsby dropped a kick, and Nick Sirianni was mad at that. But even outside of the Eagles' mistakes that they have made, this Giants special teams, and it's taken a lot. Especially if I feel the need to call this out, this Giants special teams this year, especially their kickoff, on both sides, their kickoff. On like their kickoff unit and their kick return unit have been really, really solid this year. I really do think Gunner or Deonte Banks is going to break one open and return one back for a touchdown this year.
I agree. And it's so odd just knowing that. And we felt this way 2 years ago. When a punt goes up, you're just knock on wood. You're never worried about Gunner dropping it and falling into some kind of weird, this is going to screw his territory. He is so safe-handed back there.
How this regime went 2 years without feeling like they needed it. Again, I don't want to talk about the past.
I'm trying hard not to be negative about past regime stuff. Tonight is too special to do that.
I know, too special. I do want to talk about one more thing. We have to talk about Kindred, and then I want to talk about the Giants' run defense, and honestly, why I feel like it showed up. And it's a little bit of, this is where the Eagles are kind of like in trouble. This video is brought to you by Kindred. Imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and still feeling of hotels or short-term rentals. That's exactly what Kindred provides. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It isn't a hotel. It isn't a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. It's completely free to join for owners and renters alike. And when you travel with Kindred, there are no hotel costs or rental fees. Just use the credits you've already earned. Every stay comes with White glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection so you can focus on the memories, not the logistics. When I think about traveling, I want it to feel personal and effortless, and that's exactly what Kindred delivers. Apply now at livekindred.com and use code GIANTS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights travel credit for signing up. That's live, KINDRED.com, code GIANTS. livekindred.com, code GIANTS. I think this Eagles, well, maybe a little bit of hot. I think this Eagles team is in trouble. I think they are, but especially this rush offense, Shaun. They're not kicking ass like they were, and
the offensive line's different, dude.
The fall off is pretty dramatic.
It's all about the offensive line. Landon Dickinson is out. They don't have Mekhi Becton this year, who actually was a pretty mammoth force. Juergens has not been as healthy out there. They are not as physical in opening up these lanes as they've been. And boy, what a novel concept when a stud running back has an offensive line that's faltering at opening up run holes. It's amazing how that works. And honestly, dude, I think they're abandoning some of the Saquon stuff too early and just trying to rely on the pass game stuff to try to keep A.J. Brown healthy. They kind of feel like a mess. And dare I say, Tiki brought this up on Emin and Tiki today. You think maybe they miss Kellen Moore a little bit?
Yeah, I certainly didn't think that would be a thing in the preseason.
Kellen Moore in 2023, remember the Eagles started to have those problems in 2023. Kellen Moore came and cleaned up that mess last year, and now they don't have him again.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, on that note, I know we're bringing up the run defense. Can I bring up one more thing that looked like a nightmare that now actually I'm signing for, knowing tonight?
Yeah.
I kind of like that the Giants are playing the Eagles 2 out of 3 weeks if this is how the Eagles look right now.
We'll worry about right now.
By the way, we'll worry about that bridge, and I'm not guaranteeing or thinking the Giants are going to do this twice. But if I told you right now you could play this version of the Eagles in 2 weeks, or you could play them again in late November, what would you pick?
I would pick right now. I think what will be different is if Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter are out there, serves a much more challenging,
no doubt,
team for this Giants offense to face. But also they scored 34 points, and you're telling me that maybe they can't score 3 touchdowns, they can't score 21 points. Sure. If you continue to attack, if they have Keely Ringo out there, or if they have a Dory Jackson out there. And I think the Cowboys did a good job of taking advantage of this week 1 when they moved the ball pretty well. You attack whatever corner they have, they choose out there. And hey, how did you like seeing a Dory Jackson on a rushing touchdown do absolutely nothing? It reminded me of that James Franco meme of him getting him with the noose around his neck and being like, hey, first time.
Yes,
that's what it reminded me of seeing that. So, yeah, man, I'm not apologizing though.
I'm not either.
Sorry.
I'm not either. Oh my God, we get a weekend to put our feet up, man. We get a weekend to put our feet up and know the Giants have already won a football game. I need it too. I got to be honest with you. I need it. I'm about to get another 5 hours sleep, wake up, my kid's birthday, do one more Evan and Tiki show. I feel like I haven't been home in a week. I feel like all I've done is be at stadiums all week. I feel like all I've done is watch crappy baseball all week, and I got a euphoric football win to close it out.
Yeah, there's a chance, and I say chance, since the Giants won, there's now a chance that at least one Giants player will be in the office tomorrow.
Is that right?
And if they lost, that was not going to happen. And my response to, we have a company Slack, and one of the guys that works for the company said, if the Giants win tomorrow, do you want this guy in the office? And I say, I'll do a lot more than show up early if the Giants win tonight. Like thinking that it's just not going to happen. It's never going to happen. They're not going to win. They may never win again. And then lo and behold, I also wonder, by the way, I wonder if his people said yes, thinking that they wouldn't win. And now, I like that. And now that they won, crap, we have to follow through.
Oh, that's
what I'm also thinking.
That's risky. Justin, there's a local bar by me on Long Island that on Sunday morning has offered anybody who comes out for Jets, who are they playing the Broncos in London, 9:30, like a brunch, all you can drink thing. Your table is entirely free if the Jets win. And I think that's a similar thing to what you're saying here. Like, yeah, great. That'll never happen. Imagine if it did, you'd be owing people a lot of money back.
A lot of money. Shaun, congratulations to you.
Thanks, buddy. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. And congratulations. Again.
The Giants have not lost a home game since Shaun Morash and Justin Pennick teamed up on Talking Giants.
It's a good stat. It's a great stat.
Undefeated at home.
undefeated at home. So we're going to have a lot of stuff on socials on Friday. Appreciate all you. Like this video, subscribe to Talking Giants. I will be back next week with an interview of some sort. Honestly, I may even be back sooner because if some people show up to the office, then maybe I'll feel the need to put something out on Friday, and you'll even get some bonus stuff. But regardless, I appreciate all of you. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your victory weekend. Your victory Monday gets extended out by a little bit. Enjoy everything. Let's go, Giants. Thanks for listening.